Welcome to another broadcast of the Debra Rufini Show on the ArtistFirst Radio Network. All past shows are archived. You can find them at ArtistFirst.com. And now, from England, here she is, your host, Debra Rufini.
Greetings from England. This is Debra Rufini with another broadcast of the Debra Rufini Show. Today it is my huge privilege to be speaking with my hero, Mr. Bruce Sudano. Bruce, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Deborah. I'm in Italy.
Oh, lovely.
And I've been here for the whole first part of this COVID experience. I was in LA for the first 8 months or so, and then I came to Italy at the beginning of October. So I've been here for 3 months now.
Oh, okay. How you
But I'm quite comfortable. I have my whole musical set up here, so I continue to write and record, and I have a nice big baby grand piano in another part of the house. So that's something that I don't have in LA.
Oh wow!
So that's a nice treat for me, and for many years I lived in Nashville, and at the house in Nashville, and also before Nashville, when I lived in Connecticut or in California, I always had a beautiful baby grand piano in the house. And so it's been in these last 6 or 7 years that I've been living in LA that I haven't had a piano.
Oh.
And so I'm glad that now here in Italy I have one again. So that's been fun for me to diversify my mind and my musicality while we're in this whole lockdown thing, to have the opportunity to go and play the piano every now and then as well. So
of course, yeah.
It's not the same if I have, like in LA, I have a keyboard.
Okay.
But it doesn't intrigue me the way a proper piano does. So.
Yeah, I can imagine it makes a world of difference just to, have a completely different way of producing your music, and for the mindset as well. It's something good, isn't it, for this moment?
Exactly. And I find that I write different kinds of songs on the piano than I do when I'm on the guitar.
Oh, right.
And so it's fun to be able to experiment with that after a while of not doing it.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been spending lockdown, in between going out for walks and doing Pilates classes on Zoom twice a week, and
great,
watching TV like everybody else, and following the politics of America and of the whole world.
Yeah.
So I guess pretty much like everybody, we're all engaged in some of the same things.
It's like a bad dream or like a bad film, isn't it? It's a very strange.
It is, because it's an evolution that we don't know how to anticipate because we haven't been in it before. So it started, and we all went into lockdown, and we all locked down, and we washed everything, and then it went on, and and then went on, and then and now it still goes on, and so it's all a bit of ongoing, uncharted territory. So we all individually have to digest it and assimilate it, and I'm in a very good circumstance. My heart goes out to the people who have to go through this alone. Who have to worry about where they're living and how they're going to pay the bills, and it's a very real human drama that's playing out that isn't even getting the attention that it deserves, because there's so many other things taking up space in the news, and but there's a very real human drama that's going on underneath the surface, and so
And it's affecting different people different ways. It sounds like you're keeping above it all, which is good, doing good things for the heart and soul.
Well, exactly. I'm in a very, Francesca, who is the woman that I'm now married to.
Oh, yeah! Congratulations, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. And she just kind of shakes her head when she looks at me, because she's like, lockdown doesn't change very much for you, because you're still going, into your room and doing what you do, and so
yeah.
In a sense that is true, but for me, I miss playing, also miss touring and playing shows, and, of course you miss people that used to be hanging around and seeing, and
yeah.
But I do have a real concern about, as we go forward coming out of this, how many people are really going to be affected, in a bad way. And so I'm very encouraged today because of the politics that has gone on in America, in that, in the state of Georgia, the two Democratic senators that were in this runoff, it appears that they both won, which allows the new president to have a majority in the Senate, so that he stands a favorable chance of getting some things done and making some changes, and so I'm very encouraged by that today.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
We need any encouragement of any form that we can get, don't we? Really,
exactly.
Yeah. So, hoping you both keep.
Oh yeah.
That's good. What is the situation at your neck of the woods at the moment? I mean, is it? I don't know. Sort of. I only know my own area, but I don't know anything about the Italy situation.
Yeah, we're pretty much in a lockdown.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
The grocery stores are open and things like that, and it's kind of gone on and off, because they kind of opened things up again right before Christmas. I think so that stores could make money and people could shop, which is kind of crazy to do, I thought, in the middle of a pandemic. But there's the other side of the coin of where businesses are trying to survive, and
yeah.
So I think, like everywhere, they're trying to walk the balance, the tightrope of, not overwhelming the hospitals, not having the virus be too out of control, but still somehow maintaining a way for some businesses to survive this. But I pretty much have a basic routine. I don't go out a lot. I just go out and walk. I don't do very much other than that. And
yeah.
So and I basically did the same thing in LA. When I was in LA, I walked the hills a lot, and the other advantage of LA was that the weather was really nice, and I was able to swim every day. So I don't have that option here, but hey.
Oh.
Listen to me. I'm one of the privileged few.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well done. Oh, it still sounds like bliss where you are. It's a very different world to England, I think. I've always been intrigued by America. America fascinates me, and I was watching the other day a chirpy little number, Bruce. I was watching Misery, and
that's a great one.
It's good, isn't it? I've always loved Misery, and just the scenery. I know it's very snowy, but like the sort of remote, little hardware store, isn't it? A hardware store or something she visits, and it just looks so beautiful.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to visit Kathy Roxo.
Well, look, there are many quaint and beautiful little villages in England as well. So I think there's beauty to be found everywhere. It's sometimes it's the people that make it messy, but when my last tour was when I did that tour with Colin, and
oh yes, yeah.
I got to see so many little beautiful villages in England and in Wales, and, you know, so it was really a treat for me.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's great. Yeah, there are a few nice places around, aren't there? And where I saw you, that's quite a nice little village, wasn't it? I think a villagey sort of place. That was quite nice.
Yeah.
And
we played a bunch of them, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, so did I. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's when we got to meet.
Great show. It was, yes. Yeah, very exciting. I'm just trying to think when that was. Was that about 2 years ago?
I guess I've lost track. It's got to be at least a year and a half.
Oh, so when all this is over, maybe come back to England. We miss you in England. Come back and do some more shows in England.
I'm looking forward to the day that can happen.
Yeah, wouldn't that be lovely? So, talking of shows, has there been many cancellations that you'd had lined up for this year?
Yeah, well, not so much for this year, but there were things that were lined up, for the end of last year that had to be canceled. And going into this year, there was still nothing to be booked, really. There's still really no shows going on, so it's mainly an online world, and so I continue to try and connect with the world through my Facebook and Instagram and all the social media things, and and put out, as you know, we put out the Spiral Volume 2 record a few months ago, and so I have a couple of new videos that come out in the next couple of months from songs from that record. There's a video for the song called The Promise from that record, which is going to be released, I think, in 2 weeks. Oh, yeah.
I was listening to that the other day, actually. That's the good one, yeah.
And then for Valentine's Day, we're releasing a song called It Don't Take Much, which is kind of like also on Spiral's Volume 2, but it's kind of like a very silly, cute little love song.
Lovely.
And we're doing another, for that, we're doing another animated video with Elliot Mason, who is my, who you may have even met too, because he was on tour. He was the bass player in Colin Blunstone's band.
Okay.
And he's the one that does these animated videos that I've been doing, with the Super Boost bobblehead and all that.
They are brilliant. I'm actually quite blown away by those. They're very unique and they're very funny, but it's very clever because they're putting across a great message, but adding a little bit of humour in the animation. It's very cleverly done. I'm quite taken with those.
Yeah, and that's Elliot.
Wow.
He's very clever and he's very funny, and so in this next one, in the last video, he introduced a cat into the scenario. So in this forthcoming video for Valentine's Day, it's kind of like a love story between me and the cat, and the concept of the song is very simple. It don't take much to love you. I just do, So regardless of the demands that you put on me or how impossible everybody else might find you, for me, because I love you, it's just easy for me to deal with you. So in this whole video, he has the cat, as the demanding woman putting all these requests on me to feed her and groom her and take her to the mountains, and it's really pretty silly and cute. But
oh, great! That's actually quite. Yeah. Sorry.
So that's how also doing these videos, it helps for me to keep myself busy and creative.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's actually quite illustrative, isn't it? Because cats, they say that dogs have masters and cats have servants. So yeah,
right. Exactly. So and I am the servant to the cat who's now called Honey.
Oh, is that right? That is very sweet.
Because in the song, I guess I say in the song, I say, "Honey, I just do." So Elliot was like quick to name the cat Honey.
Oh, that's good thinking.
So so that'll be out, around the middle of February, and
yeah. Oh, I look forward to that. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Another. I'm very.
And what else? How are you doing, Deborah?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. I just crumbs. What have I been doing since? Just trying to stay protected. I have two elderly parents. They're 88 and 83. Bless them. Mr. and Mrs. K. So it's a matter of trying to keep them protected. So it's between me and my sis really, but I'm part of their bubble. So it's
right.
I take it you have the same system.
To see them and they get to see you.
Yeah, but it's doing what you can here, keeping, like you say, sort of doing things to keep your spirits up, and even if it's sort of, I don't know, watching comedies or something uplifting, or listening to uplifting Bruce Sudano songs. That's pretty good.
Have you ever seen a series called Schitt's Creek?
The what? Sorry, that was a bit muffly. Sorry, Bruce. Say that again.
It's called Schitt's Creek.
No, I haven't. No, what's that?
Okay. Well, it won a lot of awards, a lot of Emmy awards this past year, and it's a Canadian series.
All right.
And it's very funny.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't know if you can get it there. I think it's on Netflix.
I'll have to check that out. I've written that down, so I have to.
Yeah.
Funny things are always good in a time like this. It's kind of. But Spirals, I'm quite impressed with volumes. So they weren't released together, were they? When was Volume 1 released?
Volume 1 was, when was it released? It was released, I don't know.
No, it was...
maybe last January. I know the song In the Garden of November was released before the record, and that came out in November. So I think the record itself came out right at the first of the year, Volume 1, Spirals Volume 1. Then Volume 2 came out when, I don't know. I don't even know what month it is now. Oh, it's January.
I know, we lose track of time.
Maybe Spirals Volume 2 came out in October. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But they're both amazing. Both absolutely amazing. And do you have personal favourite tracks on those? What are your favourites? They're all brilliant.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have different favorites for different reasons, but I like Keep Doing What You're Doing.
Yeah.
From Volume 2. I like Morning Kisses from Volume 2.
Yeah.
I like See You When I Get There from Volume 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're amazing. Look,
they're all my children. So
yeah.
I love them all.
Oh, you're so clever. My personal favourite is The Mountain. I mean, I think they're all great, but The Mountain, I think, for me. And I like the line.
The Mountain's a good one.
It is very good. It is very good.
Yeah.
The line where it says, "It does no good to worry on the way to higher ground." That's quite powerful. It's true, isn't it? We have a human instinct to worry, but we think, well, no, it's just another chapter that's going to close and another one's going to open, and
Yes. I've recently written a new song, and it's called "It Does No Good," and it basically says it does no good to worry.
Yeah.
It does no good to worry about tomorrow. Right. That's what I feel. So.
Yeah.
And basically, I sing the whole song, and the song is kind of about me, being up in the middle of the night, staring out the window, looking at the shadows of the trees, and then realizing that it's not a good time to think about everything, because when you're up in the middle of the night, everything just seems so much worse than it really is. It'll always be better in the morning, So anyway, you get to the chorus, and it says, "Does no good to worry about tomorrow." But the bottom line of that song is like as the song is ending, I just sing the two lines that I sing that kind of wrap up the whole song is, when you've done all you can, when you've done all you can do, it's in the hands of God.
Oh.
So I think, I'm not giving it to you exactly right, because I'm not grabbing it, but it's basically, concept is, look, it does no good to worry.
Mm.
So, and if you've done all you know to do, it's not up to you anymore. So it's up to God. So,
yeah,
there's no, benefit in worrying. So why bother?
Yeah. That's true, isn't it? It's when you put it sort of logically like that, it's a silly thing to do, isn't it? It's a natural instinct, but at the same time, it serves no purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And so basically the song is me basically talking to myself, trying to convince myself of this, because here I am up in the middle of the night worrying.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So,
and then there's a morning to face. I think, right, I'll concentrate on that morning. The morning's, it's a new day.
right.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I also like the line in The Mountain, don't look at the mountain when you're reaching for the sky. Again, that's another, like where you may be here, you can, where you're trying to achieve, but you're already in this place, and you're not quite there yet.
Well, the overriding concept of the mountain is that, frequently, people have dreams or they have desires, but they get paralyzed because they see all the obstacles in the way of them achieving what they want.
Yeah.
So they basically talk themselves out of even trying. And so,
yeah,
that's the message of that song, and so Bruce is a man of very basic philosophy. but the foundational, I guess the foundational concepts that we all need to be reminded of every now and then, right?
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of your work is very much hang on in there. I mean, as I mentioned in the last show that, sorry, you probably bored of me saying, but like Eagle in the Sky and Rainy Day Soul, a lot of your work it's very, you can be in sort of like quite a dark or quite a bad place, and you just put on one of your CDs and there's like very philosophical and take you to a different place, and I'll always appreciate that with you and your work.
I mean, that makes me happy to hear you say that, because I mean that's what you hope to. That's what I hope to achieve. And
you certainly have.
It's interesting because as I continue to grow into this, place of being my, the solo artist, and as I, go further into it. It's interesting for me to understand what resonates with people and what they like about it, what they don't like about it, and I'm currently working on songs for the next record, which I hope to have ready for this next summer is my goal, if not sooner.
Great.
And I'm anticipating that it's going to be a time when people are going to want to feel more upbeat, and so I'm trying to be a little bit more upbeat and a little bit lighter, and have a little bit more fun with this next record than maybe I have in the past. So we'll see if I accomplish that, but I have a sense in my spirit that the world is going to want to be in a place of feeling light and hopeful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to provide some energy in that way. And it's not an aspect of my music that is a dominant thing for me. On the contrary, somebody like Donna, her songs always, instilled that feeling of hope and exhilaration. That was one of the qualities of her music that I think really set it apart. And I think it's the aspect that most drew people to her music was that she made them feel alive and hopeful and gave them energy.
Yes.
So, I'm not saying I'm going to try and make a dance record, but I'm going to try and be a little bit more uplifting with this next record.
Oh, well, I still think, your work is very uplifting. It's you have a great gift for sort of piercing into one's soul and expressing how things feel. I think you have a great... But no, I think, going back to what you're saying about Donna's music, one of... a lot of Donna's... My favourite tracks of Donna's tend to have been ones that weren't necessarily singles. And I think my all-time favourite is Looking Up from The Wanderer. And there's some quite powerful... I mean, the tune is certainly, wow, isn't it? And it's, some of the lines... I'm just trying to think now. Something about...
We just did recently, the record company put out the 40th anniversary of the Wanderer album.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh.
And they did a new remix for Looking Up. They did a new remix for The Wanderer, the song itself.
Great.
And,
yeah. Do you know what? I turn 50 in 2 weeks' time, so I might actually treat myself to that little gem.
Well, you know what? Send me your address, and I will have them send it to you.
Oh, that's what your present to me. Is that your present?
That will be my present to you, exactly.
Oh, Bruce, I'm touched. Oh, that's lovely. No, seriously, I'm very touched by that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like it.
Excellent. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you say it. I saw adverts on the Facebook group that there was. Yes, because that 1980, so that was 40 years ago. Crumbs, 40 years ago. Whew.
Yeah.
Where does time go?
I don't know. Time is the most interesting concept in life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it? But yeah. Oh, that's lovely. I hope that does. That's right. Going back to the bobblehead, Bobble Bruce. I've got him in my cat. That was for merchandise to promote the. Was it the Mountain or Spirals albums? But he actually made his first appearance in the Mountain video. Did he?
And
yes.
That's where he showed up. And so then I had the brilliant idea of making it into this bobblehead doll, and he came as part of the package of Spirals Volume 2.
Oh, amazing. I'm quite impressed with Bruce Bobblehead. He lives in my cabinet next to a figurine of Bruce Springsteen, so you've got the two Bruces together.
That's great. What great company to be in.
It is. The Springsteen figure's a bit odd, because at some angles it looks like he's sat on the toilet. It's a bit strange. But no, it's lovely. And my magnet is on my freezer, the Super Bruce. So you're all over the place in my house, whether it's...
that makes me feel really good, Deborah, to be a presence in your home.
Oh, does it? Oh, you're such a beautiful chap. Yeah, no, it's good. It makes me feel happy.
Me too.
It's and I think I don't know if we touched on this last time, but I sort of how should we put this? I haven't always had a terribly strong walk with the Lord, should we put it that way? And I think it's human to have doubts. Some people have greater faith than others, but again, a lot of your music has been such a blessing, or from a spiritual perspective, of faith in God. And what was the one? Sorry.
Of course, you have doubts, and the thing for me has always been that it's the personal connection with the Spirit of God. And so that's a connection, and that to me is outside teaching, it's outside religion, it's a personal experience. And, I think my Christian upbringing and whatever other spiritual studies that I've done have only reinforced that connection. And it's a connection that I've always trusted. I've kind of lived my life following the lead of the Spirit.
Yeah, great.
And which has, in different places along the way, people have questioned my motives for this or for that or the other. But, I've always kind of been really faithful to follow the leading of the Spirit. And
Brilliant.
I think if I have, one of my main prayers always is to, Lord, I want to be in the center of your will for my life.
Wow.
And because we all have different roads to walk, we all have different journeys to take, we all have different, things to encounter and deal with. But I've always felt it important to feel like wherever I am, that I am where I'm supposed to be.
That's,
as long as I sense that feeling in my spirit, then I'm comfortable with whatever the technical circumstance is. Like even in a situation like now, it's like, okay, I'm in Italy. There's a lockdown. We're going through what we're going through. But at the same time, when I check in with the Spirit, I'm like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I don't feel like, I could be in California, but I'm not. And I'm here. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I tend to feel like, I don't know if this is absolute truth, but I tend to feel like when I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, I feel that I'm safe there and I can thrive there. So this is, my psychology maybe, but it's kind of how I function.
That's a great way to function, isn't it? That's because we can be taken in so much by where we are actually, in a circumstance in life, or where we are, or where we live, and lose sight of God and lose sight of greater things in God.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's that's beautiful.
No, it's I think the one thing that's really important is to maintain that conversation with Him. And I was raised Catholic, and so I, basically had 16 years of Catholic education, really.
Right.
Jesuits, high school, I had nuns in grammar school, I had Vincentians in university, and I still, here in Italy, I live right behind a Catholic church.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd love to, as part of my day, when the lockdown is not as restricted as it is now when the church is open, typically I like to just go for a walk, and I will end my walk by stopping into the church because it's not that I will go to Mass or I'm Catholic anymore or anything like that, but I just think my spirit is inclined to in that environment, because I grew up in it as a holy place.
Yeah.
That when I walk into this Catholic church and there's nobody there, and it's just this big empty cathedral, and I sit there and just have a 10 or 15 minute conversation, with my spirit and my imagination of connecting with God.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it.
Oh, yeah, it sounds beautiful. It's yeah, I guess it takes you to a different place, connecting with the higher power, doesn't it? It's,
Yeah.
It diverts life, and it diverts things that can be going on, and it's kind of like a hope for the future, isn't it? I mean, I was speaking to a friend a little while ago about us just being this sort of temporary physical shell, waiting to go on to something greater. And I think also, even thinking like that, it makes you feel not so bad about, as we get older, things,
Yeah. It's the concept of the afterlife is nobody knows the real answer, because nobody's come back to really tell you.
Yeah.
So there are all these, every religion has their supposition of what it's going to be. I think where I come down on that is, I believe that, and this is how Bruce analyzes it, okay? I always say to myself, I don't know where I was before I got here.
Yeah.
But I did get here, and I recognize this spark or spirit of life that was in me from, my earliest days, so, yeah, I don't know where it goes yet, but, I believe that we are spirit, and that spirit will carry on. What that actually means, I don't know. And when I am high-minded enough to, rise above my humanness and my fears and all this stuff, to understand what you basically just said, that this is a big adventure, and we are on a journey, and, we came into this world, from we don't know where, and the journey, hopefully and possibly and probably and whatever, will continue on some other kind of level after this. We don't know, but this is kind of what we hope, and
yeah. No, I think that's right. I think no, you're absolutely right. It's none of us really know, do we? And I sometimes, so in this lockdown, I've met my sister at a distance for a coffee in the cemetery, and we just have these iced coffees. We stand miles apart, and our grandparents are buried there, and we sometimes sort of say, well, I don't know if we've expressed it, but I think we both kind of think that it's really interesting. The ones that are left are those that are kind of sad for those that go on. But wouldn't it be a nice thought if, when it's our time, when we're in this queue, aren't we, to pass, that if you don't actually know that you've gone, it's just this next sort of chapter, that'd be a nice thought. Because we spend a lot of time fearing death and fearing what we don't know. But wouldn't it be nice to kind of it's just a matter of, you're just in this next realm, and you don't even know that you don't even know you're this physical body. You've just gone into the next.
Right. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, it's a high-minded thought, and it's a really good thought, and but our humanness makes us fearful, and we have to fight against that, and fear is the opposite of faith. So
oh, that's interesting. Yes, it is, isn't it? Never thought of that. Fear of the opposite of faith. I like that.
Yeah,
that's absolutely
true.
Yeah,
and faith is something, is a gift that I've always had. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's not hard for me to believe in God.
Isn't it? No. I get that from you. Yeah.
Whereas for some people it's hard for them to believe. I tend to process through my spirit, as well as my mind, but my spirit has a big presence in my processing. Other people process more through their head, and when you process more through your head, you can analyze things on so many different levels and become skeptical.
Yes. Oh,
because, you just want science. My reply to that sometimes is that, man doesn't know everything, and science doesn't know everything. And maybe, the concept of spirituality and connecting to a higher power and what that higher power is and where it exists and how it exists and all of these things is something that science hasn't figured out yet, because our ways are not God's ways and God's ways are above us. It wasn't that long ago, here we are talking on a cell phone, in two different countries, with no wires connecting us, and it's just going through the air. And, I don't know how they do that, and I don't know how that happens, but, I'm sure there's a science. But before they knew how to do this science, I'm sure there were people that were skeptical of it. So.
Yeah, that's true, actually, isn't it? It's we make these sort of progressions, and it's clever stuff. Yeah, it's but no, you're right. Science can't. From what I understand, it still to this day knows very little about consciousness, which is interesting. And I think this. Do you feel, Bruce? Do you feel that there was? I mean, obviously, you as Bruce Sudano are ultra talented in the way you word things, the way you express things in your music. And do you feel that when you write that there's the hand of God behind you doing it? Do you feel it's coming from you, or do you feel it's coming from God?
Well, to me, every time I finish a song, it's always like a little miracle.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that's, you start with some inspiration, and then, there's inspiration, and then there's craft. So I'd like to start with a little bit of inspiration and get excited. Oh, I like this. This is going to be good, and then, at some point along the way, you have to think about it, and I have to say, what am I trying to say, and how do I want to say it? And, so there's the craft and the technical side of doing that. But at the end of the day, when I'm done, and and I get a little distance from it, and I come back to it, and I say, I still marvel at the fact that this is something that now exists, that before I did it, it didn't exist. And so that to me is always a little bit of a miracle. And so, and then if the gifting and the talent that I do have is from God, so it's all part of that.
Yeah. And
the other side of that, and a lot of these things, it took me a long time to really come to understand and to live in, even, so now I fully understand that what I'm doing, I was called to do.
Right. Yeah.
So, and even though I may have felt that in the past, there were, when I was younger, I may have felt that, but I didn't really, live in it or believe it, or, I would hedge my bets or and now, I'm just comfortable with what it is and what I'm called to do. So, it gives me a sense of purpose. And I think that a sense of purpose is what is essential for every life.
Yeah.
And so.
That's
wow.
Great. That is brilliant. I thank God that, your talent exists, because it's such a blessing to so many. And yeah, it's funny, isn't it? When you think, as you was talking, I was thinking, well, isn't it strange how all these words actually exist, but it takes someone to put them together and mean things?
Yeah. Well, it is. It's I love words.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it is playing games with words, and at the end of the day, you want to create an emotion, and you want to make the person that's hearing it feel something, it's really a beautiful art to play with and to experience and to explore.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's always an ongoing exploration, and in the writing of the song and finding the right words to say it, and to say it in a way that I haven't said it before, or and to pull interesting sounding words, and because at the end of the day, when you make a record, the words have to feel right, they have to sing right.
Yeah.
So it's all a game, and I'm having a lot of fun now with these new songs. I'm working again with Randy Ray Mitchell, who's my producer.
Okay.
He's one of 3 producers that I've used over the last few years, but Randy has produced most of the stuff. Spirals Volume 1 was Steve Dabo. It was great. Volume 2 was a lot of Randy and some of Steve. But so far on these new songs, it's been all me and Randy, and he's in LA and I'm in Italy, and we're working via the internet, and we're having fun creating new sounds and trying to be a little bit more inventive.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, like you say, the miracle of technology, how far we've come, that we can do things without physically being together, and collaborating on things like that. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
Think of that.
It's a great tool.
Yeah. Oh, it's exciting having projects for the future. It's exciting to work on things and see what the outcome is. And I'm sure it'll be a great
and we'll see. When we get to the end of this, we can start having somewhat of a normal life again, and go out and play some shows. And, see some people and dance.
Yeah, won't it be amazing? It will be.
I love to dance.
Do you? Oh, do you? What do you? So, Bruce, what would you put on the? Oh, give me turntable. What would you put on the? What music would you have on to have a little boogie?
Well, I'd probably put on some 70s R&B, maybe some Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes,
oh yeah. I'm trying to think of one of their tracks.
What song is that? I don't remember, but
oh, great, rings a bell. Yeah. Well, there's nothing to stop you. I mean, have you got the house to yourself?
Yeah, I actually. That's what I'm going to do. When we hang up, I'm going to put on some Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes and dance around my room.
Oh, that's lovely. The missus won't mind. Well, she can join you.
No.
She'll be.
So,
that's good. Oh, I think
won't mind.
I think you should do that. I think I'm just trying to think what I could put on. There's some, and it's nice to do.
Well, you can put on some Springsteen. Put on Dancing in the Dark, maybe.
Oh, but it's not as good as your stuff. Bruce is good, but Bruce is great. Bruce is great. Yeah. So Donna worked with Bruce, didn't she? Because did you do Protection did Bruce write Protection for Bruce
wrote Protection. Yep.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, both Bruces are good eggs.
And he's so great. He's he's been great a long time. It's hard to be great a long time, and he was great from the beginning, I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I'm a big Bob Dylan fan. I'm a big Tom Waits fan. I'm a big Damien Rice fan. Do you know Damien Rice?
Oh, hang on, I've heard that name.
Yeah.
So I'm not very familiar.
Irish singer-songwriter, Damien Rice.
Damien Rice. Oh, okay. What sort of it? I'm not familiar with too much from sort of 1980 onwards. Well, I'm sort of exaggerating.
Come on now, girl. so
Damien Rice. I'm not too familiar.
Are you familiar with Johnny Swim? Have you ever listened to Johnny Swim?
Sorry, this is a little bit muffled. Do excuse me if it's the phone line. Johnny, yes, I was about to. We're running out of time. Johnny Swint. Now, I was listening to some of this a while ago. Yes, so you have very talented daughters. Wow, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that Amanda Grace? Amanda?
That's Amanda. Yeah, and her husband Abner, and they're really really good, and they're so much fun, and they're so talented, and
wow,
they're doing really well. And my kids are doing good. I have let's see, I have 9 grandchildren.
Do you? Wow.
Yeah, Mimi has 4 kids. Amanda has 3, and Brooklyn has 2.
Oh,
so that's 9, and
excellent.
They're doing really well. My daughter Brooklyn is in the midst of co-directing the Donna Summer documentary.
Oh wow! Oh, that's great.
A bit of news that I'm giving you there.
Oh, thank you. When will that be?
She's co-directing the documentary with an Academy Award-winning documentary director whose name is Roger Ross Williams.
Wow, that's brilliant.
It's early in the process. They're just getting underway, but we're very excited about that project that she's doing. And she's also filming a new TV series that I don't know the name of.
But, great.
When it comes out, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do. Oh, I was going to ask you about the girls, the lovely daughters.
Yeah.
So the Donna Summer musical, how did that go? So I think that was only out in the States, wasn't it? It didn't reach here, I don't think. Was that? The reviews were great.
It didn't reach there yet.
Yet. That's good.
Yeah. It got shut down like everything else.
Oh.
We were on Broadway for 8 months.
Oh.
We were the U.S. tour was halfway through, and it got stalled in the pandemic. And there's a Brazilian tour that had just started in Brazil that also got stopped, which I think I was informed recently that they're going to pick it up again in March. So I don't know if that's going to be possible, but that's what they informed me a couple of weeks ago. And we were in negotiations with the UK to open and to tour the UK when everything got stopped. So, I guess all these balls will be picked up once we're able to, start up again.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? All the things that were, not just the things that we can do now, but the things that were put on hold that we can actually get to, that can sort of carry on. It'll mean so much more. Yes. I think it'll mean so. Sorry.
There is a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, well, I read good reviews about the musical, and that's
the musical is really good. It's doing a musical is very, very difficult. I had no idea. It's not something that I had ever been involved with before on that level of trying to put on a Broadway musical. And I'm used to putting up shows with Donna and doing a tour or whatever. But a musical is a whole other beast.
I bet.
a big part of the situation there is that there is a whole set of protocols that are specific to Broadway, and the director is at the top of the food chain. He basically has final say, total control. And it's basically built into the equity rules that that's the way it has to be.
Right.
So you can plead your case if you don't like something or want to change something, but it's at the end of the day, it's the director who makes the final decision.
Yeah.
And so in that way, I found the Broadway experience to be a little frustrating because it wasn't all that I wanted it to be. It's really good. It tells Donna's story beautifully, from beginning to end. All the great songs are there.
All right.
I wanted it to be more. I still see places where I feel like I could have made it better.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hopeful that in different productions of the musical, that there's going to be opportunities to even fine-tune things and make them even better than it was on Broadway.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Excellent. Great.
That's also part of the reason why for the documentary we did the deal so that Brooklyn could be co-director. So that, because I feel that the documentary is in some sense, an historical document.
Yeah.
And so it's just something that, as the family, we wanted to maintain a certain control over. We didn't want to be put in the position as we were with the musical, where the director has power. So at least in the situation with the documentary, we have Brooklyn as the co-director, and so we can maintain a comfortable level of control.
Oh, that's a good idea. No, I can see that's very wise, isn't it? Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce, this hour has gone so quickly. Thank you so much for being on. It's such a pleasure to speak with you again, lovely Bruce. I love this chapter bits.
Yeah.
He's so humble and sincere.
I'm always happy to talk to you, Deborah. We'll do it again, and get some rest. Stay well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
We'll be in touch soon, okay?
Will do. That's lovely. Thank you so much, dear brother.
Ciao.
Ciao. God bless you. And thank you, Bruce, for that.
Bye, Deborah.
Bye-bye. God bless you, Bruce. And to the audience, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, lots of love and God bless.